What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Average Bob. In today's video, we're going to talk about Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State, and his performance at this combine that just happened, and why he could be potentially a good fit for the Giants. And then we're going to watch all of his combine work after I have to make my initial statement here. But to talk about his profile and why this is, whether the Giants take him or not at 5 overall, is going to be such an excellent fit at the next level. Let's dive into it here. So it's standing at 6'5", same height roughly as Calvin Johnson at 244 pounds, 3 pounds lighter than Derrick Henry, a 43.5-inch vertical, the same as Nate Robinson's max vertical. So do that with what you may. Just not the same sport, but whatever. And then 4.4640, same as Bijan Robinson. So as a running back, and a 135-inch broad jump, which is the same as Julio Jones. So Sonny Styles is an absolute combine freak athlete that the Giants could benefit from having, because there are a lot of holes on this defense. And when you have a guy this big, this strong, this fast, and this powerfully dynamic, it will make the defense better. It will plug all these holes where the Giants can't afford to miss at this 5th overall pick. And I think they probably have to go defense here because the defense was so bad last season. And obviously a lot of that was the scheme and the defensive coordinator and stuff along those lines. But this defense still desperately needs help and talent in there. And maybe Sonny Styles could be that person to come in and fill that void. And here's the biggest thing that I just want to say about Sonny Styles and his combine performance and why it could be a good fit for the Giants, because we need freak athletes. We need stud specimen athletes, because with that, they can be coached up. The Giants have evolved their coaching from the previous regime to this newest regime. And with that, the talent will also be evolved with the players, because they'll bring out the most of them. They'll set them up in proper schemes. Now, drafting someone like Sonny Styles is so raw and talented and just a pure athlete is something that it would behoove the Giants to invest in, especially at 5th overall. Let me know what you guys think about the Giants potentially drafting Sonny Styles. The next part of this video, I'll be rolling the combine tape, so please stick around and enjoy. All right, rolling the tape here on Sonny Styles, linebacker stud from Ohio State. 2025, let's talk about some of his stats here. He had 83 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, returned for 5 yards, 3 passes defended, and he was the key contributor on that defense. And let's just look at some of the plays here. Obviously, he can get around wimpy tight end blocking, so that's going to be huge. Pressure piece, albeit they didn't account for him there. Looking at, I think, these are two different positions here, but he was faster, ran a faster 40 than Kyle Hamilton and had a higher 40 vertical jump. So take with that what you may. But Kyle Hamilton, obviously a stud. I don't really like that comparison per se, but I did see Kyle Hamilton post on X or Instagram or something that he was brutally frame mogged by Sonny Styles by that infographic, which I thought was hilarious. And that's why I think the Giants are probably leaning towards taking some defensive player at 5th overall in this upcoming draft, because Harbaugh has drafted some absolute studs in that Ravens defense over the years, Kyle Hamilton being one of them, and a very recent one. And I think, part of, the Ravens history and lore and Giants history and lore has been great defensive players. So who that may be, it could be Caleb Downs, could be his teammate Sonny Styles. And this guy does not look 245 pounds, which is crazy how well he wears that on his body. I guess he's big. He's 6'5". But he does not have really an ounce of, looks like, body fat on him, which is crazy. And then, also looking at Calvin Johnson, who is one of the best wide receivers of all time, in my opinion. We all can agree that I think the GOAT is Jerry Rice. And if you forget how good Jerry Rice is, just look at Pro Football Reference and look at the season over season stats, so you can see just truly how there is really no, question over the debate of GOAT. Maybe you could start talking about second, Megatron and Randy Moss and guys like that. But Jerry Rice is the unsolicited GOAT. Advanced metrics include that Sonny Styles had 0 missed tackles throughout the 2025 season, which is huge and would be very helpful for the Giants defense because, as we saw in the last couple of years, especially last season, tackling was so poor that I believe it was during the bye week, Mike Kafka mentioned that they were doing tackling drills in practice, which is, if you played football, you're really doing tackling drills during your season when shit is going really bad and the coaches are pissed at you. And to have to restart doing tackling drills at the NFL level just goes to show you how pathetic last season was from a tackling perspective. So if they could add someone who doesn't miss any tackles and could be a day one starter, I mean, the freak athletic ability is just clearly here. I'm not really sure the knock on this guy. Again, I got to be honest with you guys. I have 2 little kids. I don't spend every Saturday during the college football season watching every random game, hoping that I might learn more that I could use in the lead up for talking about the combine on this channel. And I wish I could watch more, but the focus right now for me personally is just trying to be a present dad. And even trying to watch Giants games is tough enough in and on itself, but I always will be there. I always will watch the games, and I always will be a fan for our life. That's why I put together this channel. So if you're new and this is the first time you're watching me, thanks for tuning in. I hope I could, we could watch, learn together, and provide some entertainment. I love these drills because this is where you could see how nice guys move. And I think that stuff like this is way more valuable than a 40-yard dash, to be honest. The 40-yard dash, running in a straight line, how often is a linebacker running 40 yards in a straight line? I think it's important to set, for example, to have, but these drills are super important in terms of like pure athleticism and seeing how strong of an athlete guys are. Because if you in college can be like a guy like Evan Neal, you could have all the sort of inherited genetic ability from a height, weight perspective. But then once you start doing these drills and you have to show your athletic ability, I think some people jump out and separate themselves. And looking at this, it looks like Sonny Styles was able to do that. So I guess in 2024, he had a much better season compared to 2025. But it's hard to say that one season was better than another because I don't have the context of watching all of his seasons there. But there were a lot of guys on that defense eating, between Avril Reese, I believe that's how you say his name, who's going probably 2 overall in a lot of the mocks that I've seen. Caleb Downs also, that I would love the Giants to take at 5. So there was a lot of people eating on that defense. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great weekend.